Hello everyone, welcome to Arka Signs. So today in this content I am going to talk about a very important transit. Mars is going to change the sign. It is going to enter the sign of Libra on 13th of September 2025. This transit of Mars will be until 27th of October 2025. So basically this transit will be of around 44 days. In this content I am going to talk about this transit and its impact for all the 12 ascendant signs. So check it from your ascendant first, and then if you want you can check it from your moon sign also, but first check it from your ascendant. And yes, if you are new to this channel, then tap onto the subscribe button, click onto the notification bell icon so that every time I make a new content you get notified instantly. And your comments are always welcome to me, and if you really feel that this content resonates with you, then press the like button and share it to your near and dear ones so that they may also come to know regarding this particular transit and how Mars is going to impact their birth chart, their ascendant. So come, let us start for all the 12 ascendant signs. Mars, the planet of energy, the celestial warrior, the commander, is going to enter the sign of Libra. Libra, the sign of balance, diplomacy, negotiation, relationship, partnership. Libra becomes the 7th house of the natural zodiac. It signifies masses, people, the other people. Mars is the planet which denotes our willpower, our impulse, our passion. It has nothing to do with diplomacy. That is the reason whenever Mars comes in the sign of Libra, it has to go through the turmoils of balance. Normally what happens, Mars feels that it is either my way or highway. That is the reason what happens, it brings passion, but again at the same time it also brings conflicts. Now since Mars has the energy which needs to be channelized, and whenever Mars enters the sign, any particular sign or any particular house, it energizes the significance of that house. So by that rule, wheresoever the sign Libra lies in your horoscope, you will see that house or the significance of that house will suddenly get your focus, your attention. It will get energized as if something is happening during that particular transit in that sector of your life. That is how Mars works, and that is the reason this transit of Mars will be beneficial for many ascendants, but at the same time this will also bring some kind of difficulty for other ascendants also. Why? Because we need to have that power to channelize the energy properly, or else it may create chaos, it may create problems. Okay, so now let us start for all the 12 ascendants, starting from Aries to Pisces. For the Aries ascendant people, Mars is the Lagna lord, Mars is the ascendant lord, and Mars is transiting in your 7th house in the sign of Libra. Now what is 7th house? 7th house is the house of partnership, relationship, diplomacy, negotiation. It is also the house of compromise, give and take, and how you connect and bind with other people. And since it is the house of other people, sometimes here we need to also give importance to how the other people think, how the other people behave and talk. So we need to balance it out. It should not be about me and me. So here this is the actual thing which you need to follow, because Mars doesn't like negotiation, Mars doesn't like diplomacy. It does not go into that intricate designs of diplomacy. It feels that it is my way or highway. So that is the reason it also brings clashes. Now since Mars will energize the 7th house, it will also bring energy, passion into your relationships. It will also bring your all focus on your partner. So in that regard, this transit will also make you look upon your partner about each and everything. So this is a very good time to make sure that you mend things properly, because for mending something you need energy, you need that focus. So in that regard, this transit of Mars is very good, but as I said that it's my way or highway. So sometimes you may feel that the other person is not listening to me, and that is what 7th house is all about, because you have to give attention and focus to the opinions of other person. It can be your partner, it can be your business partner, it can be your loved ones, it can be anything in with regards to your married life, between any two couples. Okay, and suppose someone will say that I have not gone into any kind of partnership or relationship, then you should be very careful that how you connect with other people. It can be any person. Since Mars is transiting in your 7th house, and this transit is of like 44 days. And why it is very important? Because Mars is your Lagna Lord, your personality, your decision making. So you will feel that I have to compromise on many things regarding my decisions, regarding my personality. I have to behave like how other thinks, and that is not what I am. This is what Mars will make you feel every time. And that is what you need to understand, that here sometimes compromise can make things much more beautiful, because that is what 7th house is all about. Because on many matters, on many accounts, you may also feel that you are getting angry, you are getting hot-headedness, there can be anxiety, stress and frustration, that why the things are not going according to my will and wish, my own self, because Mars will be aspecting your 1st house, and that can also lead to anger, like argument, clashes, because Mars will be aspecting your 2nd house, speech. There can be very sharp, rude speech. So you need to have a proper check on that, because since I say that Mars will bring passion into your house of relationship, so you need to make it most out of it, not the negative part. Make sure that, find out that what are the things you need to work upon, work on it collectively, bring that spirit within you, that how you can bond with your partner. One more thing I can say here is that you will be very much energetic regarding your work, very career oriented, your focus, your business. Only make sure that you don't get into any kind of clashes with your business partner, particularly if you are self-employed, or particularly you are into any kind of entrepreneurship and you have other people working with you. It can be under you, it can be with you. So make sure that you don't get into any kind of classes, or else the work might suffer. But I can definitely see that you will be much more career oriented, focused in work. Yes, on certain accounts there can be something which I can see is that your superiors and authorities might not challenge you, but they might not feel good about certain things about you, that how you are working. Now since you will be very focused in career, so they will not challenge your work, but certain things it may happen that they may say you, or they may report to you when Mars comes out of 7th house and it enters the 8th house. So you need to be very careful regarding that. Okay, so that's it for the Aries ascendant people. Make the most out of it in a more positive way. For the Taurus ascendant people, Mars's transit is happening in the 6th house. Now here you need to understand something, that first of all, transit of Mars in the 6th house is considered very good. It gives you activeness, it gives you energy, willpower. Now you are ready to face the challenges of your life. Any work which was not done, which you were getting into some kind of delay, lethargy, laziness or whatever it is, now you are very much focused regarding that and you will be able to do it. Okay. Now you have to also understand that Mars is your 12th lord. 12th lord getting into 6th house. It means that now you will be very energetic, you will be very active, but you will also suffer from restlessness. Either you are not getting proper rest, or you don't have time to sleep, or you don't have time, that proper amount of time to get rest or sleep. That can hamper the mental peace, that can hamper the health, because it is not a transit of 1 day or 2 days. After 1 week or after 10 days of the transit, you will get habituated to it, that okay, something is happening. On some account you might also be happy, you might also be very happy that yes, my work is now getting done, but you also need proper rest in order to focus more into your work. Futuristic thinking, that is very important. You need to bring that balance. After all, it is the sign of Libra. Another thing, Mars is your 7th lord. 7th lord transiting in the 6th house. So this is making me think about two things. First thing is that you need to bring proper understanding and balance between you and your partner. It can be at the professional level, it can be at the personal level. Particularly the people who are into some kind of relationship. It can be in the married life or between any two couples. I'm talking about them. not the people. Now someone will say that I am not into any kind of relationship or partnership. For them I will say this is the best time to focus on your work, because 6th house is your work, your job. For them I will say that is a very important thing, because now Mars is activating your 6th house. Now suppose if you are going through any kind of issues in your relationship or partnership, and here Mars is transiting in the 6th house, this can escalate the problems even more. So you need to have a proper balance between your challenges, your work, your career, and again at the same time domestic and family happiness. Very important regarding that. So these are the things which you need to be very careful about. Yes, definitely this Mars is going to bring you success with respect to your work, your career. Yes, now since Mars is a 12th lord transiting in the 6th house, one more thing which I will add is that suddenly you will also feel that some rivalry or some hidden enemies are getting active, or someone is always plotting something against you. It can be at the job also, it can be in personal life also. But since Mars is transiting in the 6th house, they won't be able to make much out of it, but definitely some hurdles can be there. So you need to be very careful regarding that. Okay, so that's it for the Taurus ascendant people. Make the most out of it. For the Gemini ascendant people, this transit of Mars is happening in the 5th house. I will say something, that this Mars transit in the 5th house, you need to make really the most out of it. It is bringing the passion within you. It will make you very creative, energetic. Anything which you want to learn to improve your skills, your skill set, creativity, knowledge, particularly which can help you in the professional way. So someone who is thinking to start some professional studies, this is a very good time. Or someone who is into some kind of professional studies, this transit of Mars will fill their heart with energy, passion. Now how they use it, that is very important, because 5th house is also the house of joy and pleasure. All of a sudden they may feel, oh, let me go and visit some places, some adventure activities. Means it is up to you that how you activate that house. You can activate the energy of the Mars in the 5th house in different ways. So particularly, like suppose someone who is into some kind of adventure activities or sports, or someone who is an athlete, or someone who is into any kind of job or work related to mechanics, electronics, electricals, engineering, for them it is a very good transit. They will be learning new things. Or the students of those genre, they will be also learning new things. Suddenly they will get too much interested in their studies. Now since Mars is also your 6th lord transiting in the 5th house, so you can also be very much worried regarding your children, your behavior of your children. Suddenly they might get too much impulsive. Their behavior can be a worry for you. So you need to be very much careful, or I will say that make sure that you don't act impulsively with regards to your children. Take some time, bring that balance, and that will help you up much more. Now since Mars is your 11th lord, you will see that whatever learnings you get during this particular time, or how you perfect yourself through your smart work, your intelligence, that will also help you in your future. Now since Mars will be looking onto your 12th house and 8th house by it 8th aspect and 4th aspect respectively, if you are by any chance getting into any kind of adventure activities or something, which means sometimes we get into some kind of activity and we forget, means out of joy we forget that what kind of caution it needs to be taken, it leads to problem, because Mars will be activating your 12th house and 8th house. So make sure that you have a proper discipline in any kind of work you do during this particular time, or it can lead to problems. Okay, because Mars is 6th house, so it can lead to injuries also. Okay, so these are very important thing. Now this might not cause injuries to many other ascendants, but since here Mars is the 6th lord itself, like suppose someone is driving and they are driving fast, be careful. Okay, have some patience, have some caution, that is very important. So that's it for the Gemini ascendant people. For the Cancer ascendant people, the transit of Mars is happening in the 4th house. Fourth house transit of Mars, it is very important because Mars loses the directional strength in the fourth house. Here Mars doesn't know what it should do, and fourth house is the house of domestic peace. A soldier is sitting at home, the house of domestic peace and the mental security, mental peace, I would say. So what is going to happen, and what do you expect? There can be certain matters where you are focusing your all attention on household things, and you are just involving in each and everything. So what will happen? There can be clashes, there can be certain things which you might not like, or something might not go according to your will and wish, and then the argument starts, then the problem starts. So here there is a chance that on certain matters if you feel that involvement is not that much important, just ignore it, just focus on your work. That will give you much more better results. Or else there can be certain situations where like domestic unhappiness or anger, frustration can be there. Now here Mars is your yoga karaka. Now since yoga karaka planet is transiting the house of happiness, particularly Mars is your 10th lord, it is transiting in the 4th house, it is aspecting the 10th house. So your work career will go on very smooth. But since it is in opposition to the 10th house, so on certain matters either you will not go well with the decisions of your authorities, or your authorities might not like the way you work, because 4th house is also the house of rest. So you will need some rest, or you will go through some kind of restlessness, so which will need you to calm down, have patience, and suddenly some responsibilities comes on your, some burden comes on your shoulder, that oh, you need to do this, you need to do that. So on certain matters there can be opposition to how you work, your methodology to work. Okay. Another thing is that Mars is your 5th lord transiting in the 4th house. So it also indicates that the people particularly who are into learning, studies, or who are associated with any kind of work related to education, fraternity, for them this transit is very good, because it will energize your willpower to get into that learning, education. So this also becomes very important, that like suppose if you do some chantings of Hanuman Chalisa or Narasimha Kavacham, this will give you very good results. Okay. Mars will be also activating your 7th house. So I will say not only domestic part, but also married life also, or relationship also. It can be professional, personal, I would say. Let it take in a broad way. Partnership, relationship, you need to be very careful regarding that also, because sudden outburst of energy can cause arguments and clashes between you and your partner. Okay. Now suppose if you are not into any kind of relationship, then I would say that how you connect with others, because you might feel very much irritated when too much people are gathering in and around you, or they are trying to connect with you, so you might get irritated. Here I am talking about particularly the people who are not into any kind of relationship or partnership, for them I am talking about. Okay, so that's it for the Cancer ascendant people. For the Leo ascendant people, the transit of Mars is happening in the 3rd house. Transit of Mars in the 3rd house is considered very good, and for the Leo ascendant people, Mars is the yoga karaka planet. It is the 4th lord, 9th lord. So it is the yoga karaka planet activating the 3rd house of willpower, action, energy, courage, bravery. So any work which you have been trying or which you have been doing, suddenly you will feel that the pace at which you are completing that work, the pace will increase, your focus will be much more, and now you will be learning to ignore that which things are important to you and which things are not important to you. So you will be able to filter out that yes, these are the things which I need to focus, and I will achieve it. It will make you more goal oriented. Here the same sign of Libra, the sign of balance, will help you out, that other things which are not that much important, that will not disturb you, that will not allow you to deviate from your goals. Okay, so you are now much more focused. Now since 3rd house is also the house of communication, you will see that now your communications are very straightforward. Sometimes it can be very sharp. So anything related to social media or how you connect with your daily contacts, the speech can be very sharp, short. Sometimes it can be very rude also, so you need to be very careful regarding that. Now you will see that since Mars here is coming in the third house is also our neighborhood, our friends, our younger siblings. So you will definitely get help from them, but there can also be some kind of clashes between you and them, because Mars is definitely here in the third house. It has that energy. It is a soldier, that brave, courage. Okay, so that becomes very important, that try to ignore the things which can lead to clashes. Okay, another thing is that I can see that there can be relocation, transfer, particularly the change of residence. So someone who is looking for change of residence or relocation or transfer, this transit of Mars will be highly beneficial for them. They will be able to move from one place to another. It can be related to work also, because Mars will be aspecting your 10th house of career, your karma, your status. So there can be change of work or working pattern. Relocation doesn't always means home. It can be some kind of change, movement, or suddenly your work can consist of some kind of movement, short travels. There can also be some short travels. Now since it is Mars, so it will be like means on certain account you might feel that I am getting very tired, exhausted, because since it is Mars. Had it been some benefic planet, the result could have been different. Okay, so these are the things you need to be very careful about. Another thing is that here Mars will be activating your 9th house also. So regarding your belief system, regarding your own mindset, your ethics, you will become very strong about that, but also at the same time make sure that you don't get too much stubborn, so that you may hurt the feelings of other people. Okay, you need to be very careful regarding that. Other people, that is the sign of Libra is all about. Okay, so that's it for the Leo ascendant people. For the Virgo ascendant people, the transit of Mars is happening in the second house. So the first and foremost thing here is that for the Virgo ascendant people, Libra sign is in the second house, and Mars rules your 8th house, Mars rules your 3rd house. Since second house is also the house of family, speech, the people who are very close to us, 8th house energy, Mars is your 8th lord, and 3rd house is also the house of efforts. These two energies are coming in the second house of the people who are very close to you. You will see suddenly there can be clashes between you and your close peoples, and these are not normal clashes. It can be anything from the past also. There are some matters were there in the past, all of a sudden that can come forward, and new things can also happen. So this is a very I will say very volatile transit for the Virgo ascendant people. Only one thing which is good is that it is the sign of Libra. Since the sign of Libra is somehow connected with diplomacy, balance, so you will try to balance it out, but there can be outburst of your anger, your speech. So on certain accounts you will be speaking very rudely. There can also be verbal fights. Have a proper control over your impulse, I would say, because since 8th house is connected here, so there can be sudden events. All of a sudden you say something, and later on you might feel that, oh, I should have checked my speech. That is very important. Another thing is that second house is also the house of finance, money, investments, your savings. During this particular time I can also see some expenditures. So unnecessary spending should be taken care of. It should be checked, and don't make any investments or any financial decisions unless or until it is really checked properly or it is required. or else it might lead to some kind of problems. One more thing I will say, that the people who are associated with speculation or any kind of business or work which has the possibility, chances, probability, speculative in nature, so for them this transit becomes very important, very volatile, I would say. Try to avoid those kind of speculative work, but suppose if you are connected with those kind of work, then there can also be some sudden results. Okay, so don't take any decision regarding your finances which can really lead to losses. Okay, you need to check that, particularly during this particular transit. And if you are into married life, or if you are into some kind of relationship like between couples, there can be some misunderstanding between your family and your partner's family, or between you and your in-laws. Okay, or there can also be certain matters coming up which can influence the overall how you connect with your partner or with your family. Okay, or your in-laws. Certain matters suddenly might show up during this particular time. And one more thing I will say, that here Mars is also aspecting your 5th house. Food eating habits are going to change, and this food eating habit can also impact your digestion. So the people who are associated with any kind of problems related to heart, stomach disorders, liver, okay, liver problems, or anything related to eyes, okay, you need to be very careful regarding that. There can be heat related problems within the body, that is the pitta dos, I would say. Okay, so these are the things you need to be very careful about. That is for the Virgo ascendant people. For the Libra ascendant people, it is happening in the 1st house. One most important thing here is that Mars is coming out of your 12th house. This is the most important thing. Mars's transit in the 12th house for last many days, I would say that was far more difficult. Now Mars is finally coming out of your 12th house and it is entering your 1st house. So this is first of all energizing you. Now you are much more focused. So any work which you were not able to complete until now, because Mars was previously in the 12th house, so either you are not focused, either you are having some lack of energy, some kind of laziness, lethargy, or you might have had felt that whatever I am doing, I am not getting proper results for that. Now since Mars is going to enter your 1st house, you will see sudden burst of energy within you. Use it positively. Make sure that whatever work was delayed, you are able to complete it properly. This will also make you much more energetic with respect to your health, your personality. Very good time for self development. Improve your skills, improve yourself, improve your decision making. This is a very good time to implement punctuality, new rules, set up new rules, new regulations, anything which is good for you. Secondly, this Mars is also your 2nd lord. 2nd lord transiting the 1st house. So this also making you very much focused regarding your finances. This is also a time where you will be very much focused regarding your work, your business, which can give you gains. So during this particular time, if you want to take any financial decisions or you want to make some investments, you can do it, because now you are very much focused regarding that. But since it is also the lord of your 2nd house, you will see that on certain matters you are also getting influenced by your family members or your close peoples, which you may not like, because it is the sign of Libra where Mars is transiting. So you have to balance it out. And since it is happening in the 1st house, transiting in the 1st house, so it is directly impacting your brain. So there can be hot-headedness, and you might also feel that I am not able to say, but something is going on. Some decisions which might be taken when you are not liking it, it might happen in that way. Okay, so you don't need to worry regarding that, but definitely this kind of things may happen during this particular transit. So it is good for your finances, but definitely how you connect with your family members, some things will be good, but some things you might feel that either you have to compromise about that, or certain things you might not like and it has to be followed, some decisions, and it is really impacting your own personality. Okay, now since Mars is aspecting your 7th house and your 8th house, yes, definitely you will become like more means you will have a dominant role over your partnership, your relationship. So make sure that you also take care regarding the opinions and value the opinions of your partner. And here one more important thing is that Mars is your 7th lord itself. So this is also a very good time to connect with your partner properly and solve the problems which could have been there in your past. The people who are into any kind of relationship, or suppose someone is thinking about any kind of relationship, they might get some new proposals, people might get some marriage proposals coming for them during this particular time. Okay, so I would say that on many aspects this transit of Mars is very good, but yes, Mars is aspecting your 8th house, so this can also create some impulsive behavior within you. So have patience and also maintain a proper bonding between you and your in-laws, because some classes can be there, particularly the people who are into married life. Mars is also aspecting your 4th house, so on certain matters regarding your home, your domestic peace and happiness, okay, suddenly you will become very focused, your attention will be much more growing with regards to your home. So many problems will be solved because you are much more focused, but since you are involving into each and everything, there can also be classes. Okay, means particularly ego classes, so you need to be very cautious regarding that. But overall I will say this transit of Mars is very good because it is making you very energetic. Okay, so look into the positive side and try to make the most out of it. That's it for the Libra ascendant people. For the Scorpio ascendant people, this transit of Mars is happening in the 12th house. Now since Mars is your Lagna lord and it is transiting in the 12th house, so the first and foremost thing is that you need to work on your decision making, you need to work on your personality, and you have to always make sure that you don't get into any kind of troubles, you don't get into any kind of problems for your own decision making, for your own personality, your own behavior. So this will directly challenge your discipline, your daily discipline, your punctuality, your personality and your decision making. This will directly challenge that, and this will also impact your health. So be very careful regarding your health, particularly the people who are into any kind of health issues going through. So for them also this transit becomes very important. Now one more thing which becomes very much evident is that Mars is your 6th lord. Now 6th house is job, career, or basically our challenges, our work, competition. Okay, now 6th lord is transiting in the 12th house. This can impact your focus and attention with respect to your career, your job and work adversely. Suddenly you may start feel that either I'm not feeling that much interested in my work, or I'm not getting that much energetic, I'm not feeling that energy, I'm not that much active. So suddenly you may start to feel that whatever I'm doing, I'm not getting the proper appreciation for that, or I'm keeping on doing the work burden is increasing on me, but I'm not getting any result. I don't see my aim and goals, because that is what 12th house is all about. 12th house is liberation, or it can be charity, it can be donation, and Mars is work. Mars is also your willpower, your actions, your energy, and for you Mars is definitely work because Mars is your 6th lord, your challenges. So you have to face it, and without any expectation. Don't expect anything for that okay, I have done this, so I should be getting this many rewards or awards or appreciation for that, because 12th house is not appreciation. 12th house is basically liberation. So this is a time to give away your ego and just do your part. You will definitely get the reward and award for that after Mars enters your 1st house in the sign of Scorpio. So this is a time where you need to just simply forget your anger, forget your ego and other things which can stop you from getting some work done. So just focus in your work. That becomes very important. Now since Mars is also your sixth lord, I will say one more thing is that you might also get impacted by the rivals, your enemies. Okay, so this becomes very important, that you don't get deviated or distracted by other people. Just focus on your work. Okay, there can be change of job, change of career. Chances are there that suddenly some things are happening at your work and you are not feeling good about it, and now you are looking for new work, or you are also finding some new work in some faraway places. Okay, so there can also be some kind of movement or transfer to some faraway places. This transit of Mars will also impact your seventh house, your partner. So all of a sudden you might feel either, means it can be some kind of distance at the mental level, at the physical level from your partner. Either there can be movement, that you are moving from one place to another, or at the mental level also there can be some kind of distance. So make sure that it does not harm or hamper the bonding between you and your partner, because here I can see that there can be some clashes between you and your partner, particularly the people who are into any kind of relationship. It can be at the personal level also, at the professional level also. You need to be very careful regarding that. Okay, so that's it for the Scorpio ascendant people. For the Sagittarius ascendant people, transit of Mars is happening in the 11th house. Transit of Mars in the 11th house is simply considered very good, because here Mars will open the roadmap for you to excel more and more and achieve your aims and goals, your ambitions. Even if you are not ambitious, here Mars will give you that confidence that yes, you can achieve it, you can get it. It will give you appreciations, the necessary appreciations to you. You will also be able to work in a team. So basically it is helping you out to work in a group, teamwork, team spirit. So suppose you are working in some kind of MNC or something, or suppose in a group, or some group project is to be done, you will be doing very good. Another thing is that Mars is your fifth lord. So creativity. Any person who are into any kind of work which is related to creativity, for them this transit of Mars is going to bring fame, name, status, appreciation, and ultimately bring good results for them. And since it is the house of fulfillment of desires, you will see that you are getting good results with respect to what you achieve in your life, and financial gains also. So the people who are into self-employment, or someone who are into entrepreneurship, or someone who is running a business, enterprise, or some kind of trade, so for them this transit of Mars is highly beneficial. It will improve their business, their work, and open multiple gates for income, gains, money and finance. It is also a very good time for the people who are into any kind of work related to speculation. It can be like cinema, theatre, drama, or it can be someone associated with stock market or share market also. Now we have to also see their dasa, but this is what the transit is all about. I'm talking. Okay. Mars is also your 12th lord. So the people who are particularly working for some multinational company, or they are working in some other place, the company can be of some other country and they are posted in some other city or other state or some other country, for them also all of a sudden they will get some good energy at their work. And suppose if you are associated with any kind of business, this is a very good time to improve your social network with respect to your business with some foreign clients or with some people of faraway places. Suddenly you might get some good opportunities with respect to your work and business. Okay, so in this regard this transit of Mars is very beneficial. And one more thing is that Mars will be, since Mars is aspecting your 5th house, it will also bring passion, energy with respect to your love relationships. Okay, so suddenly you might get into a love relationship, or those who are already in some kind of love and romance thing. So this will bring more energy, more passion into it. Okay, so that's it for the Sagittarius ascendant people. For the Capricorn ascendant people, Mars is transiting in the 10th house. The first and foremost thing here is that you will be highly active at your work. Now, since you are very work oriented now, you will want the similar kind of energy from everyone at your workplace. So there can be some kind of classes with respect to your working methodologies and what the superiors and authorities want from you. Some kind of classes can be there, but all of a sudden you will feel that, oh, I need to do this, I need to do that, and you are getting good results out of it. So works will be completed, you will get success at your job, your career, or it can be business also. Anything, any project which you have been doing much more, now you are not only doing more, you are also getting success out of it. But it's definitely when you are working with many people at your working environment, there can be some classes between you and them. So you need to be careful regarding that. And yes, since Mars will be aspecting your 4th house, you need to have a proper balance between your home life and your work life. The home life might get suffered because you are too much into work mode. There can also be restlessness. You might also feel that I'm not getting enough rest. And since you are too much into work, this can also hamper your peace of mind, because Mars is also aspecting your 1st house. 1st house is brain. So there can be hot-headedness. Impulsive decision making will be very much evident during this particular time. On certain matters, you might also feel that your children are either getting too much angry, or they are not listening to you, or their behavior is now very, very straightforward, because Mars is aspecting your 5th house. So these are the things which you need to be very careful about. Okay, and definitely I can also see that since you are much more into work mode, your personal relationship, particularly if you are into some kind of love relationship and romantic relationship, so now you are very mechanical into it. So your partner might feel that either you don't have time for him or her, or either your focus has completely changed. Okay, so they might feel like that. So it is your responsibility that you bring that sense of balance between your work and your personal life. Okay, so that's it for the Capricorn ascendant people. For the Aquarius ascendant people, Mars is transiting in your 9th house. Now, first of all, here is that since 9th house is the house of belief system, our higher spiritual knowledge, so here Mars will make you very stubborn, very much like it will fix your belief system that whatever you feel is correct. So the first and foremost thing is that you have to understand that you have to use it positively. Improve your philosophical knowledge, improve your religious knowledge regarding dharma. So this is a very good time to go through ancient scriptures. Improve your knowledge, use that energy positively, or else there can be mistakes, and that mistakes can be as such that since you are becoming very fixed and stubborn regarding your belief system, you might get into hurting the feelings of other people. That stubbornness can create clashes between you and some other person, because the sign of Libra is basically the opinions of other person also. And since here Mars is transiting in the 9th house, so here other people means belief system of other people and what they feel about, what they follow, what their teachings are. So suddenly you may feel that, oh, whatever I know I am correct. And you are not only feeling about that, you are also preaching about it, because from 9th house it is also aspecting 3rd house, communication. So you are communicating about it in very fierce mode. Okay, so you make sure that you don't get into hurting someone. That is very important. Okay, since it is in the 9th house, so focus your efforts, because Mars is your third lord. So your efforts, your energy, your actions. So focus having more efforts into learning new knowledge, wisdom. There can also be travels to your guru, that like suppose you are traveling to meet your guru. There can also be some kind of short travels or some sudden long travels with respect to your work also. Relocation, change of work, transfer, these are possible. So the people who are expecting or wanting this kind of things, this kind of change, for them this transit of Mars is ideal. But I will also say that focus in improving and increasing your knowledge and wisdom. Since Mars is a warrior, here Mars can also make you have conflict with your preceptors, with your guru, with your elder, with your father. All of a sudden there can be conflicts. Now there can be conflicts regarding your efforts, your work, your career. All of a sudden means you might start to feel that what I actually want and what I am doing, there are certain things which I might not be liking. So you need to mend it. And with that regard, there can be some kind of confusion between you and your preceptors, your elders, particularly your guru and father, and what they are teaching you. Because Mars for the Aquarius ascendant people is your 10th lord. 10th lord is career, your name, your fame, your status, and it is transiting in the 9th house. So directly or indirectly it is impacting your 10th house also. Okay, so that is the reason it is very important that the people who are expecting some kind of job change or movement, relocation, transfer, for them this particular transit of Mars is highly beneficial. So they might get some opportunity, and some long distance travel is also possible. Religious discourses, I can see a very good time to have religious discourses, like moving to some place for spiritual visits, religious visits. Like suppose you are thinking that okay, I can visit that temple, that religious place. So wonderful time. Okay, so make sure that you use this transit positively. That will give you very good results. Another thing is that this Mars is also activating your 12th house. So there can be expenditures. So budget management is also very important, because suddenly you plan some travel and you are not aware of how much expenditure it may incur during this travel. So budget management is very important. And during this particular transit, also make sure that you have a proper bonding between you and your mother and your domestic happiness and everything. Okay, since the belief system is getting activated and it is getting fixed, so on certain matters at your domestic plane also things might get into some kind of clash, because Mars is aspecting and activating your 4th house of home, domestic happiness, mental peace. Okay, for the Pisces ascendant people, the transit of Mars is happening in the 8th house. Now this becomes very important, because transit of Mars in the 8th house normally is not considered that much great, although it will bring the passion within you with respect to how you connect with your partner, because 8th house is the house of duties and responsibilities of relationship, marriage, partnership, shared resources, joint assets. So there can be conflicts between you and your partner with respect to joint assets, duties and responsibilities, shared resources. Another thing is that Mars rules your 2nd house, money. During this particular transit, there can be some issues related to money. It can be either the gain of money, investments, some financial decisions. All of a sudden randomly you take some financial decisions and that might not go well with you. All of a sudden, because 8th house is all of a sudden, Mars is transiting in the 8th house. It is your 2nd lord and also aspecting your 2nd house. So have a proper balance between you, your work and your finances, and your decision regarding your finances. Don't take any important financial decisions during this particular transit unless and until required. That is very important. Another thing is that Mars is your 9th lord. So Mars rules your dharma, righteousness, and 8th house is 12th from the 9th house, that is laws of dharma. And Mars, since is the planet of energy, action, willpower, so whatever you do now will be taken into account more precisely, I would say. So make sure that you don't indulge or engage into any kind of work or action which is not righteous. Make sure that you follow your dharma, law, justice, truth in every aspect of your life. That is very important, because there is a chance that you may fall into some kind of mistake. Okay. Another thing is that since it is in the 8th house, it will also incite the fire within you, that fire of knowledge within you, to know the occult knowledge, occult science, secret knowledge. So the people who are associated with spiritual learning, the people who are healer, someone who is into occult science, for them this transit of Mars is highly beneficial. The people who are into research or higher study which requires some deep focus, for them also this transit of Mars is highly beneficial. The doctors, particularly the surgeons, or any person who are into any kind of job which requires emergency, means like it can be fire brigade, or it can be someone like in the hospital, someone working in the emergency ward, or surgeons it can be, let us take in this way. For them this transit of Mars is highly beneficial, because suddenly they will be like active more with regards to their work. Now since Mars is also aspecting your 2nd house, have a proper check over your speech, because there can be on certain matters you might be very harsh and rude. Okay, there can be certain clashes between you and your family members, or you might not like certain things with regards to your family members and their decisions, and you may start to feel that, oh, I have to compromise on certain things, but suddenly you may feel that, oh, I don't want to compromise. Okay, and that sudden outburst of energy, that is very important, that you focus that which things are important to you and which things to ignore. Focus on your priorities. Make sure that you don't get into any kind of travels, particularly long distance travels. Avoid that, or there can be delay, there can be some disruption in travels. Okay, that is very important. Particularly the people who are into any kind of work related to social media, social communications, for them this transit of Mars is more important, because suddenly out of nowhere you say something, you type something, you post something, and now you are into problems. So use your wisdom, use your knowledge, and don't work out of impulse or impatience. Okay, and take care regarding your partner, very important, and don't get into any kind of clashes with your in-laws during this particular time. So that's it for the Pisces ascendant people. So that's it from my side, and if you really like this content and if you really resonate with this content, press the like button, share it to your near and dear ones, and your comments are always welcome to me. If you want a consultation from me, check the links down in the description section. You can mail me through my email ID or get connected with me through my Facebook or Instagram accounts. And if you are new to this channel, please tap onto the subscribe button, click onto the notification bell icon, so that every time I make a new content you get notified instantly. So next time when I come back, I will be coming back with some another interesting content. So till then, I'm signing off today. Thanking you. Bye bye.